Welcome to Hubbardston Headlines, a show that aims to bring what's going on in Hubbardston to you. With it being the end of the summer and school season approaching, I felt it was incredibly important to introduce today's special guest. I would like you to meet Hubbardston Center School Principal Erin Cook. Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome, and thank you for coming today. We'll just get going right away. Can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I grew up in Central Mass. I've been a teacher for just about 20 years. I grew up in a family of educators, so I kind of always knew this is what I wanted to do. And I've taught in Fall River, I've taught in Rutland, I've taught in Shrewsbury for most of my career, and I spent some years as an advanced math coach in our 5th, 6th grade middle school there. And I grew up playing and loving sports. I played sports in college, and I'm here now. I live right down the road in Rutland with my husband and 3 kids, and I'm excited to be part of Hubbardston.
Beautiful. Is this your first role as a principal?
It is.
This is my first role as a town administrator.
Yeah, welcome.
Good job. All right. So, in your teaching career, what has been your favorite part thus far?
I just love all the different kids I've met and working with their families. I feel like I got a lot out of the students when I really knew their families well, and I've worked with some really great colleagues. So all the people I've met, whether kids, adults, whomever, I just like being a part of that community. So building those relationships has been great.
That's awesome, and that's something I know your predecessor was high on too, so you'll be able to walk right in and just carry that ball forward. Now, I know you're very early on in your tenure here, but do you have any sort of visions for Hubbardston Center School, or is it just get the school started? And
I think my overall vision is to make this one of the best schools in Massachusetts. I want it to be a place where students love to come and their families are feeling comfortable sending them to. I want there to be high expectations and the students to feel a lot of support. And again, you know, when I send my own kids off to school, I want them to be happy and excited to be there. So I want the same for the Hubbardston Center School students.
Awesome. Awesome. So with that, it kind of points to a lot of positivity. How will you create a positive and inclusive school culture?
I think it's really important that everyone feels seen. So I will make it a point, like Mrs. Peterson did, to really know the students, know their names, where they come from, know a little bit, of their story. And I'm looking to get the whole school together for assemblies and to get parents as involved as much as possible to, again, make everyone feel like they belong and they're a part of something, and hopefully build the excitement there.
That's awesome. I was actually shocked to think about the age of most of your students comparative to the COVID-19 pandemic. So there are certain children in the school that don't know the other side of it.
Right.
So
yes.
that's got to be pretty wild.
Yep.
What initiatives do you plan on introducing to enhance students' academic performance?
One thing I learned as a teacher is when students feel comfortable and feel like they're being pushed enough but still have that support, they can really reach high levels of success. So I want to implement a school-wide positive reinforcement system that really highlights students being good and being caught being good, so they would be recognized by any staff member for being kind, helping others, or trying their best. And I think, it goes, praise and positivity goes a long way, and I've found that when students have that, they're more willing to take risks and then can achieve more.
That's amazing. I think you're going into the right place. Myself with the Hubbardston Fire Department last year went to what they call the Penny Wars.
Yeah.
And everyone was very nice and respectful, both teachers and students. They were excited about their Penny War game,
yes.
but they weren't too aggressive about it. So
I've heard about the Penny Wars. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I also gave them all a 10, so it wasn't so they might have been cool with me for that, but I don't know. How do you plan on supporting and empowering the teachers in this situation?
Yep. I think it's important for me to think as a teacher, and some of the best administrators I worked for had a real structure in place and their expectations were clear, but they gave me, the teacher, the autonomy to run my class the way in which I felt was best. So I think it's important that the staff knows that I trust them and I know they're the experts with the curriculum and knowing the students. So I want them to feel empowered to do what they feel is best for children because they've got a lot of experience there.
That's awesome. How do you plan to communicate with parents and the community?
So I send out, as often as needed, an online newsletter. I've sent a couple out this summer already, and I plan on sending those as frequently as possible. I think our PTO is amazing, so I would love for parents to get involved with that and not necessarily become PTO members, but just participate in the activities. And I think it's important to do things like this so that the town of Hubbardston knows what's going on in the school and they can be as much a part of it as possible too.
Absolutely. Sharing a parking lot, it's easy for the town and the school to communicate, and we've had very good fortune in that regards in the past, and I think it's going to look very similar in the future, so
Yeah.
that is great.
Yep.
How do you plan to promote extracurricular activities and creative outlets?
I just want students who go to Hubbardston Center School to feel like they belong there and they're excited to be there. So I have some things in mind that I'm not going to just jump right into, but I'd love to have like a 5th grade student council who kind of help run the school in certain aspects and feel like their voice and opinion matter. I think some peer role model situations and setups would be great. I'd love to have maybe an after-school run club or just something to keep the students there and make it a place, again, where they feel excited to be and comfortable and where they're building those relationships with other peers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much for joining us today. The point of this program is to be short because it's much easier for members of the community to watch a 10 or 15-minute interview than a 3-hour select board meeting. So is there anything else that you wanted the people at home to know? I know there's going to be a different schedule or procedure for the drop-off this year.
Yep. So I know that change sounds scary to a lot of people, but I think we've created a system that will work fluidly once we all get used to it. I worked with Chief Kuchar to help create this, and so because of the Main Street construction, we can no longer use that as our drop-off. So buses will now come through the police parking lot and drop off at the back door of the school, or the side door of the school, and drop-off and pickup will be along Elm Street, facing up towards Main Street, and we have a really big school parking lot, so we can fit a lot of cars, and hopefully once it gets going, it's smooth and easy and quick for everyone.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today. For those watching at home, we'll make sure to put Principal Cook's email address on the screen under her right now so you know how to get in contact should you need to. My email address will be underneath me or flashing at some point if you need anything on my end. There will be a special town meeting coming up in October. I'll have more information on that during the next episode of Hubbardston Headlines, which will be featuring Katie Young, who is on the select board and has a lot to do with the special events in Hubbardston. So that should be interesting as well. Again, Principal Cook, thank you so very much, and thank you for tuning in.